talk about closed captioning on here. And so as I go to my slides, if I want to present from here today, hold on, I have so many, I got to close these notifications, too many windows. I can go on here and go to present, presenter view, and then I'm going to close out my speaker notes there. And I'm not going to be walking through this entirely. I just wanted to do this because on here, if I put on closed captioning, I now have it set where you can see what I'm saying at the very top. And the one downfall of this is now I'm not able to see all your faces on here. But if I were direct teaching for a moment and I had my slides and I go to my Google Slides and click closed captioning, I now have enabled this. So while I'm in and instructing, students are able to see the closed captioning really quickly. For me, this would be a Zoom hack that I would make sure I just had a slide open in Google Slides to have this closed captioning there all the time. The downfall again is not seeing all your faces in that grid motion, but I think this is something that to benefit students with special needs would be worth it. So DocHub is a really great tool, and it's I'll demonstrate some of this. And it is an add-on in Google Drive. And this slide deck really walks you through how to get this add-on and how to get it working. I'm going to escape while I just went through all of this with closed captioning. I'm going to go and just model for you. I'm going to go all the way through. Are you, if everyone's okay with that? From searching for a PDF to getting it into my drive to then annotating it with DocHub. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to get away from those and I'm going to go to a new tab. Am I still projecting? Can you see my new tab? Is that okay? Okay, thank you. Sometimes if I project just that window. And Eric, since you're on the call, I'm going to go to math PDFs, right? Well, I need some math lessons. And I'm going to go to some free math worksheets. Maybe I want some math worksheets for students. I don't want students having to print them. I'm just demoing this very quickly. There's different reasons why I could have it. And so maybe I might take this one, looks good. So I open it, it's free because I'm not paying for these things. And I want to download this. So on here, I would click download. I don't want to just open this because I need to get it into my drive. If I open it, it's just going to be a PDF that I can't write on. So I'm going to download it and it downloads it right onto my computer. Now, the next step I have to do in order to see this, I cannot use DocHub if I don't have that PDF in my drive. So while well, I guess, here it goes. I could open that PDF and it would look like this. There it is. And you know that it's not going to really work for you in this situation because when I go to click on this and I hover up here, it's not letting me open it with anything. It's just showing me the PDF. See at the top, shows me the title of it. It shows me it's one of two to give me the answer. So I'm really relieved there for that problem I'll be doing. In order to see DocHub, I have to get that PDF here in my in my drive. So in order to do that, I need to get upload the PDF into my drive. So I would click new. This is the first step. And I would click file upload. Now remember, I just downloaded the PDF onto my computer. And I'm in my downloads because that's how I know to find it. I was practicing last night, can you tell? And there's the multiplication download right there. I'm going to double click on it and it's going to start the upload down in the corner. I can see it beginning. Uploading one item and it's starting to upload and it doesn't take that long. There it is. It's complete already. So now it's in my drive. And if you really are stuck, you can't find it, you can always click on your down arrow, your search in Drive. And if you're looking for the type of document, you can click that down arrow and you can just search PDFs. That's pretty handy also. Sometimes I have so much stuff in my Drive, I can't even find the PDFs. I don't remember what it's named. So that would be a handy way to find that PDF. So let me close that out. Everything's a little slow. Now watch when I open this PDF. If I double click it and open, it looks different because this is there. It says open with, and that is the key for you to be able to write on your PDFs. So if I drop that arrow down, I have a bunch of different add-ons that I've been playing around with. I tried Lumen, I tried PDF Mergy, where I was trying to merge a bunch of PDFs. I've tried all sorts of things. If you do not have DocHub already, you would click Connect More Apps, and that takes you to the add-on store. These are free. I love that. Of course, I love the add-on store for free. But remember, within them, there are paid things that you have to be aware of. Oh my goodness, everything's really slow for me. Hoping this will load in a second. When you go into the add-ons, all you have, oh, there it is. So you just search on here. You would search for DocHub, and there it is, DocHub, PDF, sign and edit. And I already have it installed, and so it says installed, but all you have to do is click on this to get it going. And you have to say allow, do all the allows, don't block it. If you block it, it won't work and you have to start over. So that's very important. Get it into your add-ins, and that's how you would do that. Again, you would go to open with and then connect more apps. So that's how you would get your add-ons on. Once you have Google DocHub on here and you launch it the first time, it may ask for you to make an account. I would attach your school Gmail account and just do the allows, because it really needs to talk to your Drive and your to be able to open those documents. And one of my favorite things is that it will then allow you to save any edits you make to your Drive. It's really handy. So I'm going to open this document in DocHub, and the magic begins. Now, again, I'm not here debating other programs. If you've got another PDF writer that works great, use that. But I happen to love DocHub. And again, you might like this just for your personal use, not even just with teaching. If you ever have to fill out any kind of a time card or a W-2 or W-4 or any kind of legal document, I use this all the time for that. It's taking a little long to open up in DocHub. When I open it, it sort of looks like a Google Doc in some ways. It has that capability. While I'm waiting, are there any questions so far in the chat?
No, while we're waiting, I guess it might be worth pointing out, if some people are new to Zoom, that to go ahead and open up the chat and feel welcome to contribute any questions or comments that you wanted to see addressed. And so feel welcome to use that as kind of our back channel as Lisa presents.
Checking my Wi-Fi. I wonder if I have too many things open. It's just really slow for me. Let's see if I can, while we're waiting for it to load, I'll come back here. There we go. Because I do have images for everything. I really just went through this first step, that it's an add-on in your Drive. Find your PDF, upload it to your Drive, and then you can open up, connect more apps, and then get DocHub in there. When you first open it up, there's again how to connect with DocHub. When you first open it up, with hopefully it will do, the first thing I do is check my permissions and sharing. That's a really important step. It has those on there. This is a the slide presentation I've shared with you. Oh, huh. It looks like it didn't do it. Let me try it one more time. I apologize. See, it should just open up really quickly. Come on, people. Maybe I'll open up a different PDF. Oh, there it goes. Loading document. It probably was just a bad upload. There it goes.
Probably because
Okay.
it's a math worksheet.
Yeah, I know I'm not modeling good instruction here, but you know, sometimes practice, you just need to practice. Sorry, Eric. I had a grammar one. It was awesome. It's just to play with. I'm just writing on this. So if I want to go to the share settings, I immediately can go to share or send. And it's important to know that right now, the document is private and owned by me. I can invite a collaborator on here. So if you're working one-on-one with a student, you could share this document very privately. And I do like that, that you can just put in their email and you can invite them to be a viewer of it or a contributor of it, or just a signer of it. That's kind of cool if you just want them to sign a document. Again, that's for your personal use, but it's very handy for that. So you can edit this. And you can change the privacy to public if you want it open to anyone. And that's kind of easy then. Anyone can see this. You can get a shareable link. And then I can now give this link to people so they can see this and are able to open it up. And that's pretty handy to have. So play around with your share settings there. We'll come back there in a second when I'm all done with this PDF.
And Lisa, I'm going to interrupt just real quick. Can you, because we had a lot of people kind of joining midstream here.
Yes.
Can you just quickly go over kind of step by step? You searched for the document online.
Yeah, of course.
You
So
downloaded the document.
I searched for a PDF online. When I opened it, it was just one of two. There's nothing I could do on this. It was letting me download, print, or refresh. So I downloaded this document. And before I could write on top of it, because it doesn't let me do that on here, I had to go to my drive and I clicked on new and I clicked on file upload. And I uploaded the PDF into my drive and you can see it right there. I just did it. When I open the document in my drive, it looks different from when I opened it from the internet. Before, when I opened it, this was not there, open with. Because it's in my drive and I have add-ons in my drive that enhance the functionality of this PDF, I now can access DocHub here. Now you have to add DocHub into your drive, and you can do that by connecting more apps. So if you click on this and it loads up your add-ons, you can search for DocHub and then add it into this little suite of tools here. Again, there we go. And just search for DocHub. And I know Cammie's right there as well. I know you see that. I should be doing that one, right? Cammie will be for another day. I probably will do another workshop with Cammie. But again, I need to investigate paid features versus free features for that. So I have it installed and I'm ready to begin. Now I go to this PDF that's in my drive. I do not do the web version and I open with DocHub. And so instead of there, then I click on open the PDF with DocHub. And that's where I'm at right now. So everyone's caught up. I changed the share settings and I'm ready to write on this. And honestly, this is one of my favorite parts because up here, the tools are fairly simple. There's one thing that's very frustrating. I'm gonna show it to you right away. If I wanna put my name on the document, I can click on text. And the minute I click on adding text, you can see it's indented and my cursor has changed. I've got a letter following me around with a plus. No matter where I click now, be careful, don't click somewhere. Like if I click there, it's gonna add text there. And that's not necessarily where I wanted it. So I'm gonna delete that. I have made this mistake so many times where I start clicking and I've got text boxes everywhere. It's so frustrating. So I'm gonna click here where name is. Even if it's not right yet, I'm going to go ahead and put my name in There we go. And then I can move it I can hover in the blue and I can move it where I want. And that's such a relief. Any of you that was bothering you, if that's, not exactly, sometimes that will be way up here. You can move it where you like. Now you can set your fonts and your font size here. And so that can change it drastically. I'm going to put it back to 14. But you can also extend your space of this just by moving that. If you need to edit or delete, you can do that. And then this again is the move tool. Now, if I want to be done with that letter or typing, I need to click the pointer. That is my big tip of the day. It's the select tool. So I can now click on things and I'm not going to be dropping little text boxes everywhere all over the document. That was the first time I ever used DocHub. I ended up having text boxes everywhere. You can use the text feature to do your add text, but I'm going to go ahead and in my sign feature, I have a date stamp. And so I'm going to click on that. It's under the sign feature. I'm going to click the date stamp and I'm just going to drag that right there, which is pretty handy. Make sure, is that the right date? Yep, that's the right date. It's pretty needed. It just updates for that. Now, again, I apologize, Eric. This is not the kind of document I would pull in. I would not have the kids pull in their the answers as well. I would have only pulled in one option here. But maybe I just needed the kids, maybe they did this on paper and I wanted them to post their answers on here. I don't, again, this could have been I could have pulled a better example. If I want to put answers here, I can then post these text boxes and have kids go ahead and fill in their answers at that point. And I can move it so it's, again, I should just start over. Oh, look, and I click there and now I have a text box there. So problem, I need to get rid of that. There we go. I do have a highlighter tool, which is great for when you're doing text. And if you want to highlight a portion, you're able to do that. And then you can click away using the pointer tool and you can highlight sentences or different features. It has, these are locked. So the strikeout, again, don't even look at the premium, just stick with what you can there. And if I want to highlight sentences that are important, I could do that with that feature. If I want to erase something or white it out, I can hover over it and then it is gone. That whiteout feature is really handy, especially if I have a document or a PDF. Let's say I didn't want all of these problems. I actually really love this for that purpose. Let's say I wanted to only have that first row of problems on a PDF. I could white all those out and then I now have changed the PDF. And I can completely, I use that feature a lot and you can close things out. If I go back, I don't know if I can, I can undo that feature if I wanted those back right there. I highly recommend you just kind of play around with the tools and what you can do with them, that you can add arrows, you can sort of annotate yourself over your PDFs to add additional instruction. So you might want to put an arrow right here. And let's say you want to change the color on that arrow. I can then make it red. And then I want to come back to text. Let's say you're preparing a special document. You are making it for students. You're modifying the work. You might say, do row 1 only. So very quickly, you can go in and you can annotate on top of that for students that you're working with so that they, I'm going to get rid of this. That's very distracting. There we go. So if you're working with certain students, you can take the teacher's PDF and you can even take out extra rows of problems and modify it or give additional instructions on there. You can insert an image. That's pretty handy. All sorts of things. Change your whiteout color if it's, oh no, that's pro. Sorry, don't do that. One last thing I want to show you on here, and then I can take a lot of questions on this. I wanted to show you, let's say this was a document that I needed to sign on the line. Let's just pretend here. So instead of this, let's say this is an important document and I wanted my signature on this. Again, not for homework, not for school use, but let's say you were filling out a time card and you wanted to do it electronically. You could open your time card in DocHub, you can click sign, and you can create your signature. Now, I've already created a signature on here and it's saved because I'm logged into my DocHub account. I think this is pretty amazing though. To create your signature, you can either draw it on here, you can upload an image of your signature, or you could type your signature. This is one of my favorite ways to do it. You can text a link to yourself and you put your phone number in here and it will text you, or I could use my phone and just scan that. And then on my phone, it's going to send me a line where I have to sign it. Now it's a little easier for me to sign on my phone than using a mouse or a trackpad. I might even be able to open up my iPad or use my phone and use a stylus on here and get a little bit better signature. And then it sends your signature back. You can also do initials this way. So signature or initials. Once you send your signature back, all you have to do to, you can manage your signatures. I have a couple, I can redo it. There's mine. I could set it as a default. I could do a new signature. But when I'm ready to sign something, all I do is click on the signature and there it is. I have it. I can put it on a line and that's really not looking so great. So I can stretch it to this. Oops, that is a terrible signature, by the way. I did not do so well. And I can stretch it and I can move it to the line exactly where I want it. And then just click on the pointer tool. So that's how a really easy way to get your signatures into your documents. One of my other favorite ways of using this, if I need someone else to sign a document, I can request a signature from others. And so on this document, I can add signers and I can change the permissions on this, and I have different options I can do. So one time I had to send a document. It needed to be signed really quickly. The person needed very little tech skills to be able to do that. They were able to access it from their phone when they got it and sign and send it right back to me. No printing. It's just very convenient. When I'm done, oh, I didn't show you how to change the name of this document because it's pretty long and it's, I might want to save this as Lisa Math homework, and I could put the assignment name if I wanted to. All I did was click in that text field and was able to change that. I might leave the .pdf so I remember it's on a PDF. When I'm done, click away, it saves it. It constantly is saving automatically, which is also very handy. So you don't have to push a save button. Just double check up here that it says saved after your last edits. When I'm done, I can share or send, and there's lots of options. Do explore all of these options here, but this is the one I go to and the one I think you'll like, download or export. And I do love this because it gives you all these options, which is the reason I do love DocHub. So far, everything I've shown you has been free, and I can edit and write on this and make my text boxes wherever I want. I can annotate, I could add arrows, I could change the size of my text, the font, all of that. When I'm done, I can export to Google Drive or Classroom if you're working with kids in Classroom. So I can use the current drive. I can save just the arrange. So if I wanted to take those answers off, I could just have saved one page of that. I'm just going to do to drive, and I'm going to just update existing revision. I'm going to create a new copy so that I have a clean copy of that other one. And the file name is changed, and I'm going to export to Drive, and I can show it in Drive. We'll open up my Google Drive because I allowed that connection that I talked about in the beginning where it says, can DocHub access your Drive? Yes, and this is why. So now it's going to open it up in my drive. Notice it's titled Lisa Math Homework, and it should have all my writing saved on it that I've done. And again, we're waiting, we're waiting. And there it is, saved in my drive. And then from here, if I didn't want to share it through DocHub, since I'm in Drive, I have my old Drive share settings. So, you know, I can add anyone on here. I could have shared it through DocHub that way where I added collaborators, but I always encourage people to get it to your Drive and share it the way we're used to. Right now it's restricted, and you should check that right away. If you share a link from here, I can change this share setting to anyone in Pleasanton can view, but if I want parents to view it, I want anyone with a link can view. It's set as viewer instead of editor. I can add specific people. So if I want to share this, this is a private document with, I'm sharing with just Kelly. I could share it this way and leave a message for Kelly. Can you sign this math homework? Not the use for it. And then I can send that message to Kelly, but look, I have to be sure, do I want Kelly as an editor on this PDF or just a viewer or a commenter? So you make sure you check that, and then I'll send that. Sorry, Kelly, I'm getting an email. Just what you wanted from me, more emails.
Oh, I'm just deleting them, don't worry about it.
Hey, I think you should open up DocHub and sign it like I asked you. I'm kidding.
I will. I have a
I'm
kid's
kidding. I'm
signature.
kidding. When I want to, if I want to rename it, I could here in Drive. Don't get confused between the DocHub piece, but I could always just get the link, copy the link, and share it with people. Now that I've changed it, anyone on the internet can view instead of just in there. Now, if I go back to my Drive, which that was in Drive, I should say, I should just do it from here. That was misleading. So it's just not letting me. Where's my arrow back? Oh, because it opened it. That's opened it really weird. Okay, so you see my Drive has updated automatically. I have two. There's the blank one, and then here's my written on copy. So I think it's nice to have both. I remember I made a copy of it, and that's really important. Do you know how many W-9s I filled out? And then I went to go find it, and I would go open the blank one every time, or I would write on my copy, the copy I didn't want to write on. It was very confusing. So I always now make another copy and I rename it so that it's really clear for me. Instead of this multiplication page, I can do, I can instantly find that and kind of remember it. Then you can sort these in folders as well. And I like the visual view on Drive. If you are a linear person, you can change that view. And again, all those options in here. I can change it to a list view, but I'm more of a grid view person in Drive. I think we're all different. Sometimes I need to see this because I need like, what was the last thing I just did? But I like to see that I can instantly see, oh yeah, that one's been written on. All right, I've been talking nonstop for a long time. I'm going to stop screen sharing. Going to be quiet. Would anyone like to ask a question about any of that? You can unmute. I'm going to open the chat and see if I can answer. Hi, Michelle. I see your question. Does saving it to Drive change the format of the document or look the same as the original? Yeah, it won't change it. Yeah. Oh, I see. When you open up a PDF and then try to save it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes it will change the format of it. So all those cute pictures that you see on the original document have now completely changed how the layout is going to be when you save it into your Google Docs.
When
So
you save it, don't save it as a Google Doc. That's the catch.
Okay.
You were saving it as a Google Doc. Save it as a PDF.
Okay.
And then it won't do that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have the same question.
Uh-huh.
It's like because of it's a math problem. If we save as a Google Doc, the students can type it, right, and submit in the Google Classroom, right?
Yes.
And if one kid is doing the homework, it will show for them, they have to download in their account and they have to do it, right?
Yeah, so if you share a PDF, like I just walked through, they would have to download it and put it into their drive and go through those steps and have DocHub.
I want it as a doc because PDF, they cannot edit it. If we give the questions, they have to do it, means they have to be in docs, right?
Yeah,
So if,
unless they have a PDF writer, you know, that they can use the same tool that I just used with you.
okay, but I don't think a school Chromebook will support that, right?
I think DocHub is available for kids to use as an add-on in Drive. Yes.
Okay, okay, I keep it that in mind.
Yeah, because it's something I've been talking about with all kinds of staff and teachers and office staff about using for a while now. So.
Okay.
Excuse me, I tried it once and it worked out for me. So I think it works for school Chromebooks.
Yes. And if it doesn't, that's good feedback, and we can send that to the tech department to be able to open up those settings. But I believe it does work. I think the idea of Cami is that Cami is another add-on. You saw it when I went to go add DocHub from the add-ons. It would be the same procedure. You know, students would have to open up a PDF in their drive and then use the add-on to be able to do it. So yes, Michelle, kids do need to the add-on on the DocHub app before they can complete that. Some PDFs you'll find are fillable already. So if it's fillable already, somebody's created a fillable PDF, that's different. You don't, it's already been done for you. You don't have to, they don't have to use DocHub for that. You can just share the PDF that way with them.
So I was playing around with this after you finished, Lisa, and I made just a test document, and then I went to post it to Google Classroom. Post it as a link, as an assignment. But then when I clicked on that link, it just pulled up the PDF like that worksheet was when you first downloaded it. It didn't give the option to open with.
Yes.
So they do have to physically download it, put it in their drive, and follow all of the same steps. There isn't a way. Is it different if I save the PDF to my drive and then post that as an assignment? Would it pop up?
Good question. You should try that.
Okay, let me try it right now.
Okay, thank you. That was so good. That was a good one. I'm so used to that workflow because anytime I get a PDF, I put it into my drive and open it in DocHub because it's kind of become a game. Well, you know what it is, and I bet all of you can relate to me. How many of you cannot fix your printers at home? My printer and we do not have a good relationship. There's something it has against me. And so I got so tired of it that I just refused to print anything anymore. And it was always about me figuring out how can I get things signed or filled out without printing. And that's kind of why I got into this workflow of always bringing these documents as a PDF into my drive. And Michelle, I totally get that. I used to do it, try to bring it in as a Google Doc because it asks you, how do you want to open it? And you'll say, open with Google Docs. You're like, oh, that'd be so great, so easy. No, not what you're hoping for. Unless you, of course, rebuild that doc, which is not easy. Takes a lot of time. So while Katrina's doing that, I really appreciate that. Are there other questions that I can see? So step one is to download the PDF. Yes. Hi, Alex. I see you in here. Yes, you can annotate PDF articles. I see that Scott did that. There's so many different ways to do this. There's so many different tools. If you Googled how to annotate PDFs, there's so many different ways. And I just found DocHub as the way that kind of worked for me, and I kind of really loved it. And I got used to it. You know how you build those pathways for something that works, and you're like, I'm just going to stick to this because it's working and I can function. If it's not working, then we can explore some other options and ideas for that. I hope you can kind of see that this might work really well for you personally, but in terms of instruction, you might want to use another tool. All right, Katrina, you're on.
Okay, so if you share it directly from DocHub to Google Classroom, it will show up as a link and it will not, you have to go through all those steps. So I exported it as a PDF to my Google Drive like you showed. And then I created an assignment on Google Classroom where I attached that PDF. And now when they click on that PDF in the assignment, it does give the option to open with DocHub. So I think if you left instructions on the assignment to say open with DocHub, save with this title, then they could share it back to Google Classroom probably pretty easily. But that's the short workaround, I think.
Awesome. I had a feeling that was the case, but I'm not doing so many tabs right now. Thank you so much for trying that, because I do see that as a good workaround. As you are finding your documents that you want to use with kids and you're creating them, you can annotate them, put instructions on them, add special instructions for them. I kind of love that part of doing that in DocHub and modifying PDFs. So you're not having to, retype them. I love that. I have taken out whole portions of a document and then typed in my own questions. I didn't do that with the math problem, but you could put in your own, do that whiteout feature and then just type over and put your own things in and then save that. And then that workflow is then share it from your drive. Yes. So Michelle asks, would it be, it would be so great to make a fillable forms for materials we already have. Is this a good format, or is it better to make a slideshow from PNGs of the original document that I can then add? Oh, that's a good idea, Michelle. I love workarounds. So she's saying, do I just take pictures of it, screenshots, put it into a slide and do fillable text boxes? Boom. Workarounds, everyone. That's because Michelle knows slides. And so for those of you who I just lost because of knowing Google Slides, if you've been in a session with me about Google Slides though before, you can bring in images and you can add text boxes on top of images. And you can put borders around them, you can put instructions. It's really easy to modify your PDFs by taking screenshots of it, not actually copying and pasting anything from that. So that's the only problem. Michelle, I've done that before where I've taken screenshots of a PDF and then put it into slides and then use that whiteout feature, same idea in slides, where I'll use the shape tool, I'll put a big rectangle over it and then color it in so no one could see what was behind there. So you guys, we kind of just went real geek level in terms of slides. I apologize if that. And if you were with me on that, you could keep up. I could always do like a Ninja Slides session another time because I do love slides. I create as much as possible in slides, so much easier formatting. Could you write down the DocHub list of instructions that Katrina told us about? You know what, Michelle, I'll go back on the slide deck today of the DocHub tutorial and I'll put that in there. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys, it takes a team. And I think the more we say, I don't know. How about you find that out and tell me? So Katrina, if I was your teacher for class and you asked that question, it's perfect. The kids can figure this stuff out and like send them on, all right, we're in class for 10 more minutes. Katrina, can you go figure that out? And then I loved it. And then in the chat, you said, update ready. I have an update. I would not be afraid to do that with your students and let them be helpers in this process because they are very talented and it's empowering for them to be a part. Let them be a partner in this process. It's the one time I know it's so hard to take authority of your classroom or who you're working with and say, I don't know. And I think it's something that we're all just getting used to. So, are there any questions I can answer? I'm finally getting to see lots of faces in here. I appreciate you joining in today. I hope this was a helpful topic. I can be quiet too for a moment. Kelly's good at this. She does wait time. So. Oh, Kimberly, you want a ninja slides lesson someday? I could always do that. Oh, Michelle, you want it in slow. Okay, Kimberly. I love slides. I could talk about slides all the time. So we can always, you can always message me, Kimberly, and I can just do it one-on-one, or we can do it with a group. I have done a lot of trainings with different groups on slides, and would love to show you some of that. So we'll be doing office hours a lot throughout this time period on the website. During office hours, the 4 of us will be there, and we hope to kind of peel off, where we either do a group session and I'll peel off a bunch of people who come to office hours. So if you have friends, you're like, let's go find her during office hours. There's going to be like, you know, maybe 4 of you, and I'll peel off and go work with you at that time. They're set on the website. And I think that link has been dropped a few times so that you can access the office hours. We've tried to schedule them later in the afternoon, so that it was after you were doing your blocks of instructional time, and not that you're ever done working. We just are, as we're learning how to coach with you, we're learning how to meet your needs as well. All right, Terry, I hear you. Ninja slide training. All right. Maybe it will show up. I'll talk with the team about this. All right, Debbie. What's that?
I wanted to mention that for those that had trouble earlier getting onto this meeting, if you are joining a class tomorrow that you did not create, I would just recommend going through some of the process of joining a Zoom meeting. If you were having trouble earlier, it might be that you need to go ahead and go through the setup process with your PUSD account for that. I just don't want you to get hung up tomorrow if you're entering someone's class to support or whatever the role might be. You might just want to kind of go through that process as a test drive before tomorrow.
Debbie, I see your question. You asked if a Google slide is interactive. Can it be interactive in DocHub? Google Slides are super interactive, especially if you play with your share settings to let anyone with a link can edit. One of my favorite things to do, chaotically. I've done it with second graders, a whole class of them, and give them each a slide. And you talk about chaos. It's so fun though. They're all on their own slides. They're on each other's slides. Everyone's freaking out because someone's on their slide and they're deleting, and it's just chaos. But when they get good at it, it's awesome. So no need to go into DocHub with that. DocHub is only for editing and changing and writing on PDFs. So slides are totally different. They're live. They're easy to edit and manage and maneuver. So whole different tool. Kind of nice though if you're working with small groups, or if you are working one-on-one with a student. Oh, really great tool to use on slides. Easy for kids to work with. I work with first graders all the way down. I just haven't done it with kindergartners before, but I'm sure kindergartners could do it as well. It's one of my go-to tools for every age group. Any other questions? Are y'all doing okay? Hanging in there? Yeah, everyone's like, well, I feel like we're on the log ride, right? And it's on that part right now. And then you're getting to the top, and tomorrow is the, and you know you're gonna get splashed, right? I just keep seeing that click, 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 click of the roller coaster. You know you're up there, and it's just you can't get off the ride. You're on, and so might as well throw your arms up and be like, "Whee!" I don't know what else to. Best advice, and just have to just go with it. And if things go wrong, then say, class, I'm going to get back to you on that. And then do your search, do your Google search, go to YouTube, search it up in YouTube. That is your very best teacher first, even before emailing us, because you know that we probably don't know. We're probably Googling it and going to YouTube. So if you want your answers even faster, it's a good way to be a good learner. Okay, so Katrina, number 1, create your doc in DocHub, then export. Oh, thank you.
No problem. I just didn't want you to have to recreate.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Now, if I were a really good teacher, I would let you be an editor on my DocHub slides, right? All right, I'm going to copy that right now. That is so helpful. I really appreciate that. Do you see how we need to we need to have our students working harder than us? Can we do that? Can we agree to that? And put them to work. I think they're ready for some responsibilities and ownership and that agency. I think that's really good to say, and give them some of the tools of saying, see what you could do with this, see what you can figure out, and then we'll meet tomorrow and tell me what you discovered. What did you find out? It can be kind of an interesting way to do this. I would purposely do that when teaching my students new web tools all the time. We always joke that I'm yet to learn how to do Powtoons because I've never had the patience to sit down and do it, but I always give it as an option for my students to create these amazing videos in Powtoons and they would say, well, how do you do it, Mrs. Highfield? I'm like, I don't know. Here's the link, go figure it out. Well, sure enough, if those kids figured it out, of course, they've got their game consoles, they figured those out. They know how to hook those up to their TV and stream and talk to all their friends in there. They can figure this stuff out. And you can frame it of, well, I knew how to do it. I just want to see if you knew how to do it. You know, see what you could share with everyone. Just a tip. Any other questions or anything I can help with? That was a lot for the first 2 hours. We have a lot planned today.